Hello there. We're glad to welcome you to NAPTIP On The Move. I'm Angela Agbegi. NAPTIP and the UNODC recently organized the 9th edition of the Embassy Liaison meeting in Abuja. Take a look.
The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, with support from the United States Office on Drugs and Crime, organized the 9th edition of the Embassy Liaison meeting in Abuja. The theme of the quarterly meeting is Improving International Cooperation in the Fight Against Human Trafficking. Director General of NAPTIP, Professor Fatima Waziri Azi, made the opening remarks.
Let me begin by thanking you all for an impactful 2022. We couldn't have achieved half of what we did without the collaborative support of everyone seated here in this hall. Today provides yet another opportunity for us to scale our collaborative efforts in controlling the disturbing trends in the global fight against human trafficking. Since our last meeting, which held on the 15th of June 2022, NAPTIP has evolved in terms of operations, partnerships, and reach. In 2022, there was a surge in the reportage of human trafficking across the country. And this was because of the amplified visibility of the agency and increased public trust in NAPTIP as a government institution. We witnessed the emergence of new trends in human trafficking and the evolution of the antics used by human traffickers. In 2022, we received 1,440 reported cases. 412 were external trafficking cases and 1,028 internal trafficking cases. We rescued and received 2,743 victims. Last year, we strengthened our partnership with the National Intelligence Agency in terms of rescues and repatriations. NIA assisted NAPTIP with 31 rescues and repatriations. There are many more pending repatriations to be conducted. In terms of prosecutions, we secured 80 convictions, 45 males and 35 females, the highest in a single year since the inception of NAPTIP. Furthermore, as a result of our skilled engagement with judges, in addition to a term of imprisonment and fine, judges are awarding compensation to victims, and some of our cases are receiving accelerated hearings.
She also highlighted some of the agency's achievements so far in 2023.
We began 2023 on a very high note. At our last meeting, I shared that the NAPTIP Act was in the process of amendment in order to keep up with the evolving trends of human trafficking. This past February, the Amendment Act was passed by the House of Representatives and has been transmitted to Senate for concurrence. We recorded a giant stride in the global fight against human trafficking on the 8th of March 2023, when a high-profile trafficker, Charity Omori, was extradited to Italy. So far in 2023, we have secured 27 convictions and counting. For the first time, on the 27th of March, we secured 4 convictions all on the same day. 1 conviction from Kano, 2 from Sokoto, and 1 from Borno State. all quality convictions. We have developed a trafficking in persons database, which can be accessed via our website at www.naptip.gov.ng. We hope to continue working with you all to design creative solutions for ways to better understand and tackle human trafficking.
Deputy Country Representative of the UNODC, Danilo Campisi, delivered a goodwill message.
This meeting seeks to strengthen cooperation, collaboration, networking and partnership in line with Article 10 of the UNTOC protocol, which encourages states to cooperate with one another to effectively combat TIP, and states that law enforcement, immigration and other relevant authorities or states parties shall, as appropriate, cooperate with one another by exchanging information in accordance with their domestic law. Oftentimes a lack of familiarity and sometimes outright distrust, the lack of understanding of each other's judicial systems, inefficient channels of communication are among the many obstacles to effective collaboration between law enforcement officers in Africa and the European counterparts when dealing with the human trafficking and related crimes. To help bridge some of these gaps, UNODC is using different platforms such as the Liaison Magistrate Initiative, where magistrates have been deployed to Italy and Spain. Allow me to conclude by assuring you of our unwavering support for all initiatives that seek to promote and enhance international cooperation towards combating human trafficking and stem migrant smuggling through into Nigeria.
The Honorable Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development was represented by Dr. Abubakar Suleiman, Deputy Director, Disaster Management.
Human trafficking is found in every country and every region. It remains a hidden crime, with perpetrators operating in dark corners of internet and the underbelly of the global economy to entrap victims for sexual exploitation, forced labor, domestic servitude, organ harvesting, and other forms of exploitation. The government of Nigeria, through the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, is poised to prevent trafficking by addressing poverty, underdevelopment, and lack of equal opportunity. That means investing in people, in education, jobs, as part of the systemic solutions. Through the implementation of the National Social Investment Program, such as the Empower, the Conditional Cash Transfer, the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, the Homegrown School Feeding Program, Cash Grant for Vulnerable Groups, etc., and inclusive recovery must create opportunities and give hope to young people and the disadvantaged, and tackle the structural inequalities that leave women and as well as children in marginalized groups to human trafficking.
After the speeches, technical sessions began with intense interactions and exchange of ideas on tackling the scourge of trafficking in persons. The meeting was well attended by officials from 19 diplomatic missions, United Nations agencies, federal ministries, and law enforcement agencies.
Regulation 2019 is another anti-trafficking measure geared towards the fight against human trafficking in Nigeria. The agency, in collaboration with Expertise France, organized the workshop. Don't go away.
The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, with support from Expertise France, a European Union-funded project, organized a sensitization workshop on the Trafficking in Persons Control of Activities of Organizations and Centers Regulation 2019 for travel and tour operators and as well as labor recruiters in Abuja. The opening ceremony began with a welcome address by the project manager of Expertise France, Benjamin Eneanya.
I wish to welcome you all to this very important meeting on the sensitization of travel and tour and labor recruiters, or the Trafficking in Persons Control of Activities of Organizations and Centers Regulation 2019 and the IT portal, Trafficking in Persons Clearance Application Portal. Expertise France is a French non-government organization implementing the European-funded project to support the fight against human trafficking in the states of the Gulf of Guinea, with the overall objective to support national authorities and civil society organizations through improved institutional and operational consolidation and preventive actions, law enforcement, victim protection, and regional cooperation. In the year 2020, Expertise France assisted NAPTIP with the development of an IT portal to enhance and automate the implementation of the Regulations 2019. We are here today to educate you on the Regulations 2019 and how to apply to obtain a clearance certificate from NAPTIP to ensure that you are not caught on the other side of the law while conducting your legitimate businesses.
Goodwill messages were delivered by partners and stakeholders present, including the International Organization for Migration, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, International and Ibero-American Foundation for Administration and Public Policies, FIAP, Network Against Child Trafficking, Abuse and Labor, Human Capital Providers Association of Nigeria, and Nigeria Immigration Service. The workshop was flagged off by the representative of the Director General of NAPTIP, Hassan Tahir, NAPTIP Director, Legal and Prosecution.
It is my utmost delight to welcome all participants, most especially members of the National Association of Nigerian Travel Agents, NANTA, and the Human Capital Providers Association of Nigeria, UCAPA, to this auspicious event. You may recall that in order to increase the agency's effectiveness in coordinating efforts to combat TIP in the country, the federal government of Nigeria on the 9th day of October 2019 enacted what is called the Trafficking in Persons Control of Activities of Organization and Centers Regulation 2019, which empowers the agency to regulate, control, and issue clearance certificates to all travel agents, tour operators, and intended travelers for the purpose of 1. Educational excursion, 2. Recruitment of labor, 3. Sporting activities, 4. Cultural and musical excursion or competition, and 5. All organizations, shelters, and homes offering services for the purpose of the rehabilitation of trafficked persons. The overall objective is to strengthen partnership with the travel and tour operators, labor recruiters, sport recruitment agencies, and organizations operating shelters and homes for victims of trafficking in persons in order to reduce trafficking of Nigerians abroad. Specifically, to increase knowledge about human trafficking and elaborate the mode of operation employed by the traffickers using formal channels. Educate travel and tour operators and labor recruiters on the Trafficking in Persons Clearance Application Portal, which we call TICAP, and how to use it to obtain travel clearance from NAPTIP.
Having declared the workshop open, technical sessions began in earnest with presentations on overview of the Trafficking in Persons Control of Activities of Organizations and Centers Regulation 2019 by Hassan Tahir, Director, Legal and Prosecution, NAPTIP. Guidelines for obtaining a clearance certificate under the Trafficking in Persons Regulation 2019 by Olushayo Olubi, NAPTIP Director, Research and Program Development. Overview of the Trafficking in Persons Clearance Application Portal by NAPTIP Director of Information Communication Technology, Hakeem Lawal. And finally, the Trafficking in Persons Clearance Application Portal Milestones by Benjamin Eneanya, Project Manager, Expertise France. The highly interactive forum provided an avenue for strengthened collaboration, which is key to the effective implementation of Regulation 2019, another strategy for curbing human trafficking in Nigeria.
The Director General of NAPTIP, Professor Fatima Waziri Azi, recently delivered a lecture at the University of Abuja Leadership Center. Our report will tell you more. Keep watching.
The University of Abuja Leadership Center, a TED Fund Center of Excellence in Public Governance and Leadership, recently invited the Director General of NAPTIP, Professor Fatima Waziri Azi, as a guest lecturer for its 6th Distinguished Leadership Series. Professor Philip Afaha, Director of the Leadership Center, welcomed all present.
Today is the 6th in a series of our Distinguished Leadership Series. The Abuja Leadership Center, like we always say, was set up by government for this purpose. The purpose was to really cultivate leadership, to train people on leadership, to discuss leadership, to carry out research in leadership, to promote everything that has to do with leadership development in Nigeria and indeed in Africa. Today is going to be a great one because for the first time we are going to have a woman, a lady, as our guest speaker. Because men have been speaking to women in this hall. So today is the first day in our series that we have a woman speak to men and to girls.
The Vice-Chancellor, Professor Abdulrashid Naala, delivered the opening remarks.
Indeed, I feel honored to be able to make it today. Every day as a nation, we think about what next for Nigeria. Every time as a country, we are faced with enormous matters. And one of those crises today is human trafficking. Human trafficking has been part and parcel of major problems of this nation. The Leadership Center is to respond to government, is to respond to different aspects of our nation and say this is the way to go.
Professor Fatima Waziri Azi's lecture titled Leadership in Crisis, Tackling the Scourge of Human Trafficking in Nigeria was in 2 parts. The first part covered key elements on human trafficking, including current trends.
It is a delight to be here at the Abuja Leadership Center, and I am indeed happy to be the first woman to be invited as a guest lecturer. Every day presents us with the need to make decisions. It could be courageous decisions, priority decisions, change decisions, creative decisions, or people decisions. It is non-stop, like clockwork. There is no tailor-made handbook for leadership, and nothing prepared me for the tough decisions I've had to make at my job. We at NAPTIP experience crisis, not the apocalyptic kind, but what we experience can be categorized as sudden crisis, crisis you don't see coming, emergent crisis. They are difficult to spot, and one has to deal with it as it emerges. Routine emergency, already deploying and working on the problems as they present themselves. Then we have our normal operations. Now, to put in perspective, human trafficking is a $150 billion global industry, one of the most serious human rights violations, and the world's second most profitable criminal enterprise after drug trafficking. Trafficking in persons continue to evolve in line with globalization, an intense of demand and supply, especially with digital transformation, which has led to a massive online explosion. Some recent trends include an increase in fake job advertorials, fake scholarships, including phishing. Like I always tell young people whenever I have the opportunity to interface with them, there is absolutely no free lunch anywhere. If it is free, then you are definitely the product. When someone you don't know from Adam, or even people you know, offers to give you a better life, procures a passport for you, gets you a visa, buys you a plane ticket, accommodation, feeding, they go the whole 9 yards for free, then you should know that you are obviously the product. So if you are seated here and you have JAPA plans, you better reevaluate those JAPA plans.
The second part of the lecture on adaptive nature of the NAPTIP mandate as it relates to exercising leadership was comprehensive, highlighting tips and lessons on leadership.
So every fraction of a second, the opportunity for leadership presents itself in different forms. At home, work, and interactions with people. Every day brings the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of people. To lead is to lead dangerously, because when you lead people through difficult change, you challenge what people hold dear. without purposeful leadership and adaptability in the fight against human trafficking in persons, people die because our target beneficiaries need immediate and strategic response to their issues. In tackling human trafficking, we are often confronted with adaptive challenges that require more than technical solutions to resolve. Adaptive challenges are challenges that technical solutions do not exist for. In the absence of technical solutions, the only thing that exists are experimental solutions, and you pray to God that one of these solutions work. In conclusion, exercising leadership is a way of giving meaning to your life because crisis offers the opportunity to be reborn. Difficult times can discipline us to be stronger. Conflict can renew our chances of building better relationship. Finally, the most essential quality for leadership is credibility.
The highly instructive and illuminating lecture elicited several questions and comments from the students. This made the forum very interactive.
Stop human trafficking. Say no to human trafficking.
The lecture series was held at the university's Social Science Auditorium.
The conviction of traffickers by NAPTIP has become a weekly event. So far, the agency has secured 27 convictions in 2023.
The High Court of Kano State, presided over by Honorable Justice Mariam Sabo, has sentenced a 55-year-old man, Sabo Abubakar, to 1 year imprisonment with additional fine of 300,000 and 150,000 compensation to the victim for sexual exploitation of a 16-year-old female. The convict is also committed to 3 months of community service sweeping his local government secretariat. Also in Kano, Honorable Justice Mariam Sabo sentenced a 50-year-old man, Ali Hamza, to 7 years imprisonment with a fine of 1 million naira for procuring and sexually exploiting a 13-year-old female, an offence punishable under Section 16, Subsection 1 of the Trafficking in Persons Prohibition, Enforcement and Administration Act 2015. The convict is also to pay 100,000 as compensation to the victim.
NAPTIP recently organized an Easter party for the children at the shelter. Stay with NAPTIP on the Move.
The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons organized an Easter party for victims of human trafficking and survivors of sexual and gender-based violence at the agency's shelter. There were lots of activities, songs, dances, quiz competition, presentation of gifts to the winners of the quiz competition, drama on the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. They also had lots to eat and drink. They had fun. Director, Counseling and Rehabilitation, Angela Agbayekai, had a word for parents.
I'd like to tell our parents in the society to please put an extra effort to take care of your children. Children are a gift from God. All the children you see here today came from parents, and some of our parents have been a little bit careless, and that is why we find this number of children here in the shelter, and the responsibility is now falling on the government to take care of them. And if you hear their story, some of their stories are very pathetic. You will discover that it's just very negligent behavior from parents that led these children to where they are today. If God has given you a child, please take care of that child.
It was indeed a wonderful celebration for the children. NAPTIP is committed to ensuring the welfare and well-being of all victims and survivors at the shelter.
Finally, we bring you an account of a victim.
I'm 18 years old. I'm from Plateau State. Where I stayed, my auntie, she used to beat me a lot, and she used to get angry every little thing. She got angry, So anytime I work, she always complains that I'm so sluggish and this, and when I'm working I don't finish my work fast. She'll start beating me. She'll use different kind of things to beat me. Sometimes where she beats me the most is my head and my shoulder. And I used to tell her that until my body is to pain me, and she said that the way my body is pain, that is how the way her mouth is to pain her when she's tired of talking to me. And my uncle has told her that let her return me. It's not good to beat another person's child. Then on Friday, she now called my uncle that they said that the head office called, that they went to report that they used to beat me. And she now told my cousin that she used to beat me and I have marks on my body. Then my uncle now got angry. My uncle now said, okay, he's going to come on Monday to come and pick me. So it's Monday that they now take me to NAPTIP, the head office. So they now said I'm coming to this place, to the shelter, but they're still doing my case. I want to say thank you to NAPTIP. They help a lot of kids and they give many kids shelter, clothes and other things, food. They take care of everybody here. I want to say thank you to NAPTIP very much.
For more inquiries and support, or to report cases of suspected human trafficking, violence against persons and child abuse, please call NAPTIP hotline 0703 0000203 or the short code 627, or email us info@naptip.gov.ng. Visit our website www.naptip.gov.ng. Follow us on our social media platforms at NAPTIP Nigeria or watch our videos on YouTube.
Our time is up, but we thank you for watching and urge you to keep a date with us next week. My name is Angela Agwegi. Hope to see you then.